High in the shaded peaks of Thunderfall, the world is veiled in perpetual rain, each droplet shimmering with an unnatural glow as it falls from the shadowed heavens. The peaks rise like jagged spears, draped in mist that clings to the rocky edges, swirling in ghostly tendrils around twisted trees and the ruins of ancient temples. Maris has heard the legends of Thunderfall all his life, of a kingdom cursed with eternal rain and a distant light hidden high in the mountains, where the sun itself is said to rest. Yet as he stands at the foot of the trail leading up the treacherous incline, he feels the weight of the kingdom's sorrow pressing down on him, as though the rain itself holds memories of a forgotten age. Maris has journeyed to Thunderfall not by chance but by fate, drawn to the peaks by whispers of an ancient prophecy. It speaks of one who would uncover the sun from its shrouded cage and bring light back to the land. By his side is Astra, a wanderer with a quiet strength and eyes that glimmer with the faintest trace of starlight. She claims to have heard the call of the mountains, a pull that speaks to her soul, as if bound by threads of destiny to this place. Together they gaze up at the daunting path, knowing that this journey promises neither mercy nor escape from the secrets hidden within Thunderfall's endless rain. As they begin their ascent, the rain falls heavier, each drop striking them with a chill that seeps through their cloaks. Thunder rumbles from above, reverberating through the peaks like an ancient voice stirring from a long slumber. The path is steep and narrow, littered with slick stones and thorned vines that grasp at their feet. Strange runes are carved into the rocks, glowing faintly as if guiding them towards something beyond mortal comprehension. Astra runs her fingers over one of the symbols, feeling a sudden warmth, as if the stone remembers a time before the curse, a time when sunlight kissed these peaks. Maris and Astra press onward, the weight of the rain growing denser, surrounding them in a cocoon of shadow and mist. Their footsteps echo faintly in the silence that clings to the air between thunderclaps. As they climb higher, the mist begins to take shape, forming shadowy figures that drift alongside them like wraiths born from the rain. Astra's eyes widen as one figure moves closer, whispering something inaudible before fading back into the mist. "This place remembers," she murmurs, a chill creeping into her voice. "It remembers those who came before us and failed." Just as the rain seems endless and their resolve begins to waver, they come upon a stone archway, partially obscured by cascading water. It is carved with symbols unlike any they've seen, the lines delicate and ancient, pulsing with a faint light that feels strangely warm against the cold dampness of the mountain. Maris steps forward, drawn by an invisible force, feeling the hairs on his arms rise as the symbols begin to glow brighter. Astra reaches out to stop him, but it's too late. The light from the symbols flares, illuminating the archway and casting a pathway through the rain. The ancient magic of Thunderfall has been awakened, and there is no turning back. Beyond the archway, the air grows colder, and the mist thickens, wrapping around Maris and Astra like a shroud. The path ahead is lined with twisted trees, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers covered in moss. Strange lights flicker in the distance, ghostly orbs that drift between the trees as though guiding them or warning them away. Maris catches a glimpse of his own reflection in a puddle, distorted and shadowed, as if the water itself holds a piece of his soul. Astra glances at him, her expression tight with unease. "There's something here," she whispers, her voice barely audible above the rain. "Something that's watching us." As they press on, they encounter a narrow cliffside ledge overlooking a seemingly bottomless ravine. The rain has turned the stones slick and treacherous, forcing them to move with care. Each step feels like a test, as though the mountain itself is challenging their resolve. Thunder crashes above them, and a jagged bolt of lightning illuminates the ravine, revealing shadows that move on their own. Astra shivers, her hand clenching tightly around the hilt of a small dagger. "It's as if the shadows themselves are alive," she mutters. Maris places a reassuring hand on her shoulder, though he too feels the weight of the mountain's eerie presence pressing down on them. They soon come upon a small clearing, where an ancient stone altar stands at the center, covered in rain-soaked moss and surrounded by strange symbols etched into the ground. The symbols glow faintly in hues of blue and green, casting an eerie light across the clearing. Maris and Astra exchange a wary glance before approaching the altar, noticing that the symbols seem to shift and change as they get closer. Astra leans down to study the markings, tracing one with her finger. These symbols, they tell a story, she says softly. A story of a forgotten sun and those who were bound to guard it. The words leave a chill in the air as if they have awakened something ancient and powerful. Suddenly the ground trembles and the rain intensifies, each drop hitting the earth with a heavy resounding thud. Dark shadows rise from the symbols, taking on spectral forms that hover around Maris and Astra like guardians of the altar. One spirit, larger than the others, looms closer, its face obscured by darkness but with eyes that glimmer with a sorrowful wisdom. It extends a ghostly hand toward Maris, and he feels a pull in his chest, as though his very essence is being drawn toward the spirit. "Why have you come?" the spirit's voice echoes, a whisper that seems to resonate from within the rain itself. Maris gathers his courage, his voice steady as he responds. "We seek the sun, hidden within these peaks, to lift the curse upon this land." The spirit studies him in silence, and for a moment Maris fears he may have overstepped. But then, the spirit nods slowly, gesturing toward the path beyond the altar. "Follow the path, but know that each step will demand a piece of your soul. Only those willing to sacrifice can reach the peak where the sun waits." As the spirit fades back into the shadows, Maris and Astra exchange a determined look. There is no turning back now. Their path is bound to the mysteries of Thunderfall, and each step draws them closer to their fate. The path beyond the altar winds sharply, leading them toward a narrow pass flanked by towering cliffs. The rain grows colder and heavier, each drop feeling like a shard of ice against their skin. Thunder echoes above, reverberating through the mountains, and the air thickens with a strange energy that makes each step feel like a battle against an unseen force. Astra stumbles, catching herself on a jagged rock, her face pale and drawn. "It's as if the mountain itself is trying to keep us away," she whispers, clutching Maris's arm. He nods, his gaze focused on the swirling mist ahead, where faint golden light flickers like a distant flame. As they push forward, the golden glow grows stronger, illuminating their path in brief flashes. Maris's heart pounds as they round a bend to find a massive stone gate carved directly into the mountainside, adorned with symbols and figures from an era long forgotten. At its center, a sun emblem gleams faintly, pulsing with an ethereal light that seems to call out to them. Maris steps closer, his hand reaching out to touch the emblem. Suddenly the gate shudders and cracks spiderweb across its surface as it begins to open, releasing a blinding light that spills across the ground like liquid fire. Inside the gate lies a cavern bathed in a strange golden radiance, unlike anything Maris or Astra has ever seen. The walls are lined with ancient statues of figures bearing sun motifs, each one holding a sphere that glows with the warmth of sunlight. In the center of the cavern is a pedestal, atop which rests a large crystal, radiating a warmth that feels like sunlight piercing through the rain. Maris feels a magnetic pull toward the crystal, knowing in his heart that this is the key to ending the kingdom's curse. Astra looks at him, her eyes wide with awe and trepidation. "This is it. The son of Thunderfall," she murmurs. Just as Maris reaches for the crystal, a dark shape materializes in the corner of the cavern, emerging from the shadows like a creature born of the storm. Its form is shrouded in darkness, with faint outlines of limbs and a face obscured by a swirling mist. It speaks in a voice that rumbles like thunder, filled with both sorrow and rage. "Who dares seek the light of Thunderfall?" it demands, its presence filling the cavern with an oppressive energy that makes it hard to breathe. Maris raises his chin, summoning his courage. "We have come to lift the curse and bring light back to this land," he declares, his voice steady despite the creature's overwhelming presence. The creature lets out a sound between a laugh and a growl, its eyes glinting with dark amusement. "To touch the light, you must sacrifice something precious," it intones. Maris glances at Astra, his heart heavy with the weight of the choice before him. In his mind, he sees visions of his home, of the people waiting for the rain to end. Taking a deep breath, he steps forward, prepared to offer his own soul if need be. The creature regards him with a solemn nod, fading back into the shadows as Maris reaches for the crystal. As his hand touches its surface, a blinding light fills the cavern, and the curse that shrouds Thunderfall begins to tremble. As Maris's hand connects with the crystal, a surge of warmth flows through him, radiating from his fingertips to his heart, filling him with a light that feels both foreign and familiar. The blinding glow from the crystal spreads, spilling over the cavern walls and casting long shadows as it rises like the dawn. The shadowy creature, now receding into the mist, watches with a solemn gaze, as if bearing witness to an ancient promise fulfilled. Astra steps back, shielding her eyes from the intensity of the light. She feels a deep sadness mingled with hope, sensing that Maris's sacrifice has become part of the mountain's magic. Outside, the shaded peaks tremble, and the rain slows for the first time in living memory. The dark clouds above Thunderfall swirl, breaking apart as beams of sunlight pierce through, casting ethereal rays down onto the soaked landscape. In the village below, people emerge from their homes, faces turned upward in awe and disbelief as the golden light touches the earth, illuminating every drop of rain like falling stars. For a moment, time seems to stop as Thunderfall breathes its first unshackled breath, free from the curse that had bound it for centuries. Astra glances back at Maris, noticing a faint glow emanating from his skin, as if he has absorbed a fragment of the sun itself. His face is serene, touched by a peace that Astra has never seen before. "You did it," she whispers, her voice filled with reverence and sorrow. Maris offers her a gentle smile, his hand lingering on the crystal. "The curse may be lifted, but Thunderfall will always remember those who sacrifice for its light." With a final look of determination, Maris releases his grip on the crystal, stepping back as the light around him begins to fade. Just as they prepare to leave, the cavern shakes, and a low hum fills the air. The statues along the walls come to life, bowing their heads in silent gratitude as the warmth from the crystal fills every crevice of the mountain. Maris and Astra make their way out of the cavern, their steps guided by the last glimmers of sunlight filtering through the peaks. The rain resumes, but now it feels gentle, a soft mist that blesses the land rather than curses it. Astra closes her eyes, feeling the difference in the air. The sorrow is gone, replaced by a quiet serenity. As they descend, Maris feels his strength waning, the light within him dimming with each step. Astra stays close, supporting him as they reach the village, where the people wait in silent gratitude, their faces lifted to the first sunlit sky in ages. A sense of renewal fills the air, and Maris knows that his journey has left a mark on Thunderfall, a legacy that will endure long after he is gone. The people bow as he passes, their whispers of thanks drifting through the mist like blessings carried by the wind. Maris and Astra share a final glance, knowing their paths have forever been changed by the call of Thunderfall. As Maris and Astra stand at the edge of Thunderfall, the sun breaks fully through the clouds, casting its light over the once shadowed kingdom. The golden rays illuminate every corner of the land, touching the trees, rivers, and mountains with a warmth not felt in generations. The villagers watch in awe as the sunlight transforms the shaded peaks, their somber greys replaced with vibrant greens and shimmering waters. Maris feels the weight of his journey lift, his sacrifice not in vain as the land awakens under the sun's gentle glow. It is as if Thunderfall itself has been reborn, carrying memories of those who restored its light. Astra remains by Maris's side, supporting him as they make their way to the heart of the village, where the people gather in silence, tears of joy mingling with the last drops of rain. Maris watches their faces, a sense of peace settling within him as he sees their relief and gratitude. The kingdom's curse has lifted, but he feels something more, a bond with the mountains and the sun, as though a piece of him has been woven into Thunderfall's essence. Astra notices his quiet contemplation, sensing that Maris's journey may be ending in more ways than one. Slowly, Maris begins to feel his strength fading, his connection to the crystal's light drawing him back to the mountains. He realizes that his sacrifice has bound him to Thunderfall, his essence now tied to the peaks that hold the sun. "I must return," he says softly to Astra, his voice a blend of sorrow and acceptance. Astra's eyes widen in understanding, her hand gripping his as if to hold him back. But Maris gives her a gentle smile, his gaze filled with a quiet resolve. "The peaks have given me purpose, and I must answer their call." Astra's heart aches as Maris turns and begins his ascent, his figure silhouetted against the radiant sunlight that now crowns Thunderfall's peaks. The villagers watch in reverent silence, understanding that he has become part of the land's new legend, a guardian of the sun, destined to protect the light that broke their curse. Astra lingers at the village's edge, her eyes following Maris until he vanishes into the mist that clings to the mountains. Though she is left with an emptiness, she knows that his legacy will live on in every sunlit moment that graces Thunderfall. As the years pass, the kingdom thrives under the light of Thunderfall's sun, and stories of Maris, the Sunkeeper, spread far and wide. Travellers speak of a figure glimpsed in the highest peaks, where the sun shines brightest, his form etched in light. Astra carries his memory, her heart forever tied to the mountains that claimed him. And whenever the mist rolls down from the peaks, the people of Thunderfall look to the sky, knowing that their kingdom's light endures, protected by the one who answered the call beyond the rain.